Welcome back, Jeopardy! Fans. We're retaking a festive trip down memory lane to the Christmas Day episode from 2013. This was the fifth and final quarterfinal match of the 2013 teen tournament, so the stakes were incredibly high. Let's see who was battling it out at the podiums. We had Jeff C., a high school senior from Edison, New Jersey. In the center, there was William Golden, a senior from Houston, Texas. And finally, we had Sydney Mokel, a junior from South Windsor, Connecticut. Three bright teens all vying for a spot in the semifinals. The energy in the studio must have been electric. Let's dive right into the Jeopardy round. The categories were pretty diverse. On the old map, celebrity relatives, gifts, the title role, not your everyday words, and a fun one called Stupid Answers. Yes, you heard that right, stupid answers. Where the correct response was always, "That's a stupid answer." It's one of those classic, quirky Jeopardy categories that keep things interesting. Right from the start, Jeff C. came out swinging. He absolutely dominated the on the old map category, running through all 5 clues and racking up an early lead. He showed some serious geography and history knowledge. For instance, he knew that the ancient region of Lusitania is primarily modern-day Portugal. He also correctly identified Gaul as the old name for an area that included France and Belgium. William wasn't far behind, though. He buzzed in correctly on a few clues, including one about the title role in a John Green novel, which was, of course, The Fault in Our Stars. Sydney was playing a steady game, picking her spots and adding to her score. But Jeff's early dominance was the story of the first round. One of the more interesting clues in the gifts category was, from the Latin, for something to be sent. It's a monetary gift sent to a missionary. Jeff correctly answered, "What is a missive?" But wait, Alex had to correct him. The judges were looking for what is a mission. A tough break, but Jeff just shook it off and kept playing. Now on to the Double Jeopardy round. The categories were science fair, world history, opera, magazines, 10-letter words, and in the dictionary. The board was set for a real battle of wits. From that point on, Jeff was in a league of his own, continued to buzz in with correct responses across the board, from opera to 10-letter words. He showed incredible breadth of knowledge for a high school senior. By the end of the Double Jeopardy round, the scores were staggering. Sydney had a respectable $3,400, William had an impressive $12,800, but Jeff Z had amassed an incredible $26,600. That is a massive score going into Final Jeopardy, creating what we call a runaway game. This meant that even if William wagered everything and got it right and Jeff wagered nothing, Jeff would still win. His spot in the semifinals was secure. So, let's look at the Final Jeopardy. Clue. The category was American composers. A classic, solid category. The clue read, the first person to conduct his own work at La Scala in Milan. He wrote his first opera at age 23 and his last at age 82. Sydney, knowing she couldn't catch the leaders, wrote down Who is Copeland and wagered $3,399. Unfortunately, that was incorrect, leaving her with just $1. But she played a great game and made it to the tournament, which is an amazing achievement. Next, William. He wrote down Who is George Gershwin, another great American composer, but not the right one for this clue. He had wagered $0, knowing he couldn't catch Jeff. And finally, our champion, Jeff Z. The pressure was off, but he still played to win. He correctly wrote down Who is Verdi. Wait a minute. Verdi is Italian. Category was American composers. The correct answer was George Gershwin, who William had written down. Seems Jeff got a bit mixed up, maybe thinking about the La Scala part of the clue. It's a funny little twist at the end of a dominant performance. Made Jeff wagered a playful $1,337, bringing his final score to an amazing $25,263. So, Jeff Z became the fifth and final semi-finalist of the 2013 teen tournament. His performance was one for the ages, especially for a quarterfinal match. A huge congratulations to him, and also to William and Sydney for a fantastic game. It's always a treat to watch these brilliant young minds compete. What did you think of this game? Were you as impressed with Jeff's performance as I was? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this look back at a classic Jeopardy episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching.